Hello? This thing on? Alright. Back once again for a Sunday edition. Let's get a little organized here. Sorry, I was doing my required social media posting to attract potential viewers. Whether or not that works, I don't know, but we do it anyway. So, we left off yesterday and kind of really not too happy with the state of this Neo Geo board. I'm still not happy with the state of this Neo Geo board. However, I think I've decided that what I want to at least do is go and replace all of the components that I removed yesterday, at the very least, just so I don't kind of lose track of what I've done. And we're going to give it a minor power on test to see if maybe just replacing the video encoder here and there are a couple of resistors and the capacitor that blew up in this area, if that'll get video to show back up. And then I'll spend the next week kind of figuring out the best way to clean this board, because, you know, some people say throw it in the dishwasher, other people say do it by hand. I don't, I'm kind of more leaning towards a do it by hand thing, but unfortunately it's going to be a lot of work to do this by hand. Although, I don't know, I might end up just doing it that way because it's safer and I can do everything in alcohol. But yeah, for sure, this board is so heavily corroded and filled with crap that I want to get it cleaned off first, so that if I have to pull, because I know I have to pull at least one more IC, like this chip right here has to go. And with the amount of crud that's on the board, it's making it very, very hard to get all the solder off, which is the problem that I had yesterday, which we're going to clean up a little bit of this in this area in here. It gets like 98% of it, but that tiny bit of crusty bit that's covered in oxidation is just not mixing. So I need to figure out or try to see if I can get that actually off the board first. And then that way, if I have to do more IC work, or, I know I'm going to have to remove resistors and stuff, I just don't want to keep damaging vias and traces if possible. So we'll get that working next week. But for now, we're going to finish cleaning up the small area, replace the few components that I removed, do a quick power on test to see if maybe I got lucky and that brought video back to the board. I'm assuming not. I'm assuming that whatever this chip here, I mean, it's kind of corroded, but yeah, it's not looking too bad. We'll look at it again before I power it on, just to see if maybe there's anything I could touch up real quick. And I did verify that the trace repair that I thought I was going to have to do is just kind of luckily rotten PCB mask, I think. I'm going to have to go through and test all of them, but when I scraped away and then did some continuity testing, I was getting connection from this chip to this chip, and there was copper underneath the black mark, so I'm just assuming I'm going to have to just remove the rotted PCB mask and then slop on some new mask, and then we should be good in that. Once again, we just got to get the board cleaned up. I did run power draw tests, and everything was consistent with a working board, so we've got that going for us. I didn't see any dead shorts, and it was giving me the nod saying that, hey, everything should be working. So, I'm just kind of crossing my fingers on this one. So I couldn't leave it alone. I wanted to ignore it for a week before I do all the work after I got it clean. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I should, at the very least, clean up the work that I did yesterday, replace the components that need to get replaced, and then test again. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, we'll just have to wait another week, and we'll get the board cleaned, and then we'll try to see why I'm not getting any video. for audio, and I'm also kind of operating under the assumption that I think the Mark 1 Genesis cable should work for this, which I do have an actual Mark 1. So if that might be something that's preventing this from working. But yeah, this RGB encoder was pretty rough when I pulled it out. Pretty green, so I don't think it was dead, but it could be. And again, I think if anything that was causing the issues, it would be these completely rotted resistor and the rotted capacitor there that was needing to be replaced. So now I've got to figure out the easy way to get in, clean off the top of these vias, and put the new chip in, and then put the resistor in, and we'll go from there. So let's get the soldering station fired up here, get her under the microscope, get some flux on the board, and yeah, see what we can do. So actually, I'm going to probably bring this a little closer to me. And we'll switch to the microscope here. Okay. Obviously, we cannot see anything yet, so let's just get this focused. Here, I think we could finish it off at this point. Some twisties. So you can see what I'm seeing is we still have just a little bit of corrosion on this pad. And then you can see what I was talking about with just a little bit of solder crust here. It's just a little tiny bit of solder that just did not want to go. And you can see all across the board, like all this junk right here is oxidation. And those should be shiny, not dull and green looking. So that's kind of what's got me concerned, and kind of what I'm hoping that a cleaning will take care of, but I'm not sure even a cleaning will get rid of all this. And I really might be forced to go through every single component and clean it by hand, which would be a literal nightmare. So let's go ahead. Do I have any more left? No, that should be all of it in view. Okay, so let's just go, and we're just gonna very gently take some solder braid here and just kind of clean these vias up a little bit more, and then we'll plop on the new resistor and the new capacitor and then the new encoder, and then just cross our fingers and pray. That's kind of where we're at now. Lots of finger crossing. So let's just work with some completely fresh braid. Okay, so let's get her going here and just try our best not to do anything stupid, huh? Most of these pads actually looked pretty good, gotta say. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of touch up. Like this one right there, though. Like you can see how the pad's more shiny now, because I just sucked up all the it just gets a little tricky, this area. This whole board actually is, everything's just jam-packed together, so trying to get in here is a little bit of a pain. But we really don't really need too much time on things. Alright, so now we gotta do the flip the board around trick. I'll work on it from the other side. It's a little bit easier for me to do it this way. This side's a little bit, yeah, see that far pad on the left, if you're seeing what I'm seeing, that's a perfect example of the crusty, this guy right here, how it's, you can see it's not, it's just full of crusty crap. A lot of these as well. Should have everything in view. They're just got little bubbles of solder now. That could be a few reasons, but it was definitely not mixing with the fresh stuff that I was putting down. So this guy right here, we're just trying to, and it cleaned up just fine. You know, we're just kind of gliding this braid too over the pads. I'm not scrubbing, even though it might sound like I am. It's very light pressure. You're just kind of letting the heat and the flux do the work. You don't really want to wang down too hard on the board. And you definitely don't want to overheat the vias. Okay. That's as clean as we're going to get that. So let's just clean this up so we can get prepped for the IC installation. Okay, we'll grab ourselves a nice little Q-tip here and just soak up all this excess flux in the area. Let's see how. I'm not too concerned about being perfect here, just mainly because I know that this board is going to go through a very heavy wash cycle somehow, some way. I'll figure it out. I've got to figure it out. Okay, so we got that done. Now, I think we're going to install the passives first and then the chip. There's the chip. Now I need a 10 nanofarad capacitor, and then I think it's a, what was it? It's a 820 and a 27K resistor. So let's see if we can find those. Now, there's a couple of other burnt out resistors that I might replace, but I'm going to try it without them first. So why is this? Weird. What? Okay, I got 5 220 resistors in separate packaging instead of a single. I wonder what the heck happened there. So that's not what I need. So what did I say? It was 820 and 27K. There's a 1K. I might need those. And that's the IC. Oh, that's the power jack that we're going to need. Okay, and this is 27K, right? 27K. And there's a 3K we don't need. There's a 470 we don't need yet. Here's my 820 capacitor. And there's the IC that we're going to replace. I got 2 of those. I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll be right back. All right, apologies. Swear to God, every time I start streaming, my body's like, hey, you gotta go to the bathroom now. All right, so this is the 820. This threaded through here, right there. It's always so weird. You kind of make a little guesstimate on where you think the bends are going to be. All right, so 820 is like this. And gotta push this through and spread the legs out now, so can't really see what I'm doing here, unfortunately. Oops. Grab a pair of tweezers, actually, it'd probably be a little bit easier. You know what, maybe I can just, alright, there we go. Should look okay, right? It's kind of a little wonky looking, huh? Weird. Why does this not want to sit right for me? It's so hard to do this because I'm trying to keep things in focus and I have to keep it lifted up. Okay. And now you can see why. This has to go forward a little bit. Try to bend it right at the capacitor. Alright, sorry, right at the ceramic. Trying to get a nice even bend there. Maybe that'll drop in a little bit more straight this time. Sure did. Okay. That is looking much more agreeable to me. Okay, now I need the 27 kilo ohm. Do the same thing. Same thing with this resistor, just right at the ceramic. Okay. Plop this guy down. A little, well, yeah, it's a little wonky, but that'll work, honestly. Could maybe try to pull it down a little bit, these back legs, but okay. Got them, and now we're gonna need this right there. So this is a 10 nanofarad capacitor that I need. Try to see if I can do this. Ouch, I keep stabbing myself with these things. So we got 10 nanofarad capacitor now. This is pre-bent, so hopefully this will fit. Just like so. Okay. So that will be all the passes in that area that I need to get. Yeah, this is what I was talking about before too, like with the how this wire right here is just molested, and that's probably because of the corrosion on it. So just go ahead and make our lives a little easier here. You don't really need flux on through hole stuff. I just prefer using it for everything. Kind of feel like it just really facilitates that nice quick on and off motion that you're trying to go for. Mainly just really don't want to spend too much time on the board with heat, just enough to get a good joint going. I think we're going to need just a little bit more solder here. Okay, and this one too. And that should be okay there. Let's just do a little bit more on this one too. Perfect. Nice shiny joints is what we're looking for. So we're going to go ahead and do the top first. So at least it does seem like that bias should be good. It's a little, probably come through and add in a little bit of some solder mask on top of that to strengthen it. If I have to jump it, I'll jump it, but we're going to test that now. I think right? Basically, this pad right here, as long as I have, yeah. So I'm touching the. All right, so we've got it. We're good. We're good there. This whole board is just so gross. I was looking into ultrasonics today, and they're not any cheaper than the last time I looked, but this project has really made me question if I should make the investment or not. It's for something just in case here, we just don't want. You know, I guess we'll be all right, but really did not want this. I think maybe I'll come in and just trim just a little bit more on this one. If I can actually do it. Just kind of want to maybe stop it from potentially getting mushed in there, even though it shouldn't be. Alright, so we got that all done. Now we can clean a little bit. If I can find my toothbrush again. So 1K we're going to probably replace in a second here. And you can see that one trace we're going to have to rebuild as well. 100% going to have to rebuild that one. And that is this guy right here. That is just completely gone. Thankfully it's an easy fix, because all we're going to have to do is just basically, I don't know if I'm going to be able to blob some solder across this or not, but I know I can. Definitely just get some more solder on the trace that is there. And then we could get repair that. So thankfully that was the only trace that got cut. Everything else looks to be pretty good. So we got that going for us. And these are supposed new. Sony chips here. They look it. CXA1145P, and then this is the CXA1145P. All right, let's get you in the board here. First, this alcohol. Let's seep through a little bit. Got our fresh resistors, a fresh capacitor. I'm seeing solder go through. Very good, very good. Looks good to me. In one case, fine. Okay, so now, is this the new one? This is the new one. You can see how there's a sort of, it's a hidden shadow, but there's a notch in that little PCB mask right here. And that lines up with the notch in the chip. And we just have to get things aligned here, and it should just slot on in. Close, but no cigar. This would be a lot easier if I actually had an IC grabber, which were specifically meant to make this job a lot easier. See, it's almost there, but not quite. Come on. Try to do this a few ways, but ultimately I think I'm going to end up having to kind of bend the legs in the submission, because it's going to be a fight. Oh, look at that. It really just doesn't feel like, yeah, they're not bent evenly, which really makes this a giant pain in the butt, huh? Yeah. It's like one side's going to have to be bent to make it in. Sometimes you could put it on a flat surface. If you get a good grip on the silicone, so you're not bending the top pins, you can bend all the other row at once. Just a little pressure is needed. Okay. Boy, I'm just feeling spectacular at this, huh? Would probably help if I actually try to do it through the microscope versus the naked eye. Still not bent enough, huh? I use an Eakins microscope. Good day to you, Mr. Alex. I've tried a length of microscope in chat before, but didn't seem to like it. Maybe in the future I'll just go ahead and add it to my stream title. That way people will know. Just doing this the highly manual way. Sucks, but it works. Can't really see here. Alright, let's see here. Last one looks like. There we go. I have no idea, my friend. I've never heard of that. Generally, a lot of the microscopes and electronics we find on the market are pretty much all the same, just slightly rebranded with maybe some minor differences. Man, I would imagine it's just fine. Um, if it does what you need it to do, then you know. All right, so I can't see shit. So I'm literally trying to hold this in with one hand. Let's see about maybe getting a leg or two tacked in here. But my first microscope was a $120 Andon Star. I think that was the name of it. Andon Star? Yeah, I think that's what it was. Or Adon Star, something like that. Either or. It was not the best microscope, but for the time and my budget, it was perfect. That should hopefully be held into place now. We can just go ahead and begin the process of the legs. All right, let's see here. Okay. We're gonna do a cross tack here. Actually, we'll just save some time and just flux across again. Amtech. I use Amtech flux. Currently use Amtech flux. And before that, it was MG Chemicals, both of which are absolutely fine. I just wanted to try out some Amtech because everybody seems to love it. That's fine. It does a good job. Not a very big fan of the big tube, to be quite honest, but probably should be using a smaller tip for this, I think. Okay. Yeah, well, it's expensive, but it lasts forever. Um, there we go. I still feel like I need a ton more solder. See, I That just doesn't feel like it's... We'll have to look at that after I clean. Didn't feel right. I think I paid, like, for this massive 30cc tube, I think I paid like $20 or something like that from the Rossmann store. So it's not that bad. It's lasted me for months upon months, so there is that. Oh my god, why does it never want to just stick where I want it to go? Way too much flux, but that'll work. I like MG Chemicals is good if you really want to save some money. People really like the Kingbo Flux, which I think is pretty affordable. Truth be told, most fluxes are going to behave the same for you. There isn't too much differences. Some of the really, really cheap stuff might not work out so well, and you definitely want to make sure you're using electronics flux instead of like plumber's flux. Some people prefer paste flux, other people prefer straight liquid flux. I'm a gel guy. I don't know, it's just one of those things where it's kind of like oil discussions and motorcycle forums. Like, everybody's got their opinion, and nothing is really more correct than the other. All kind of just boils down to personal preference in the end. So that's the one that I'm going to have to jump. I think we're looking okay though. You'd like to know what equipment I use? Well, that's a laundry list. So, as I said, I've got...
I don't know that one.
Oh, Alexa's listening. Okay, so the microscope I use is from Eakins. It's got the Sony 1080p sensor in it. It's like the IMX7 something, I can't remember, or 680. There are much newer sensors available. I use an Amscope articulating scan for the microscope. Microscope head. Sorry, I was looking at some things there. I have a KSGER T12 soldering station. Love the crap out of that. I was a Hacko guy before it, but this is much nicer. I have a Atten ST862D hot air station. And that covers pretty much my entire soldering range. I've got a Yuhua 8 or something, I can't read the numbers, 948 desoldering station. I do not recommend that. Just ignore that one. I use Kester solder, Amtech Flux. I don't know. I don't know what else is there to talk about. My recording equipment's all over the place, but that's not too important. Okay, so we've got to repair this trace here. What we'll do is just grab some Kynar wire. So I think I am going to switch up to a different tip for this one, just to do this work, and we're going to also do it from a different angle. Get that put in place, and I'll look at your response here. fudge. It is this way. There you are. The Atten is 1,000 watt. Bro, I honestly don't know off the top of my head. It does not say on the front of it either what it is. But if you go ahead and look it up again, that is the ST862D. You'll be able to find all the info you need on it. I think that one's pretty much kind of industry standard, so to speak, at this point. A quick hot air station's fine. I am a big proponent that you don't have to spend a whole lot of money on your equipment to get good equipment. So if you're really budget conscious, so to speak, you might be better off, looking at like a Yuhua. I used a Yuhua hot air station for a good long while, and it was absolutely fine. Actually, what do I? Maybe I just jump, huh? Like, what if I just... bank to bank. Cut this like right there. Okay. Now, I'm sure it's just fine. There's not too much variation in the soldering irons either. I think I like the T12, T15 style because I like to just do exactly what I just did right now, which is change tips at the drop of the hat, and it heats up in an instant. So I think what I'm going to do here, a little bit of solder on my tip. Just like so. And then route this wire up this way. Probably have shortened this, but for now, for what we're doing, this will be fine. Okay, so a fume extractor? Nah. I don't do enough soldering to justify a fume extractor, and I'm so cramped as it is. Buddy, I live probably one of the most unhealthiest lifestyles on this planet. We're all gonna die at some point. Perfect. Okay, so that's jumped. All right, so that concludes the rebuild of that section. Now, I think I'm going to actually replace this 1K resistor. That's looking pretty grim. Might replace this one. I think I'm going to replace it. Can I get enough heat to do it the easy way? Or am I going to have to do it the hard way? We are going to have to do this the hard way. Might end up. Let's do this real quick. See if maybe we can make this work. Probably going to have to switch tips again here and go back with that thicker chisel to get this done. We'll just try real quick. Maybe we could mix in some. Could let it like that. Yeah, no. So I'm just going to end up damaging things. Okay, let's just do it the right way. I'm going to try it the easy way. Didn't work. And as soon as I start to see even just a minor amount of damage, I know it's not what we should be doing. So let's do it the proper way here. Okay. Okay, so now I just gotta do the old flipperoo here. That should be very evident. Okay, very, very evident where I need to go. Right there. So we'll flux you up. And then mix in some fresh, wick away, yada, 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 bloody, bloody, bloody. Okay, let's see here. Yeah. Okay, grab this wick. Know what this 1K is doing, but it's just not been a very cooperative board, honestly, with the desoldering. And you can see it's the same scenario, so all that corrosion is just making my life so miserable. All right. So now we should be able to potentially really don't want to let me. Nope, see, I just took out the frickin' son of a bitch. Alright, well, whatever. One side out. Dead 1K pulled out. Let's clean up. I know I ripped a via on the other side a little bit, but most of that pad stayed intact. Okay. Be over to this side now. Not too bad. It did get a little lifted on that one side, but looking good otherwise. Perfect. All right, now I gotta go find that 1K resistor. Plop her in there. Accidentally put that one away before I was done with it, so hopefully it's just right here at the top for me. There she goes. Let's get this 1K guy plopped in. All right, so we got the 1K pulled out. Do the same thing here. Just gonna bend right at the ceramic, as close to ceramic as possible. And plop her in. Okay. That did not seem to like that. I have no idea why, but... I'll get some light on the subject here, but it did not want to light right for me. And that's just... the heck, man? Why does this not seem right? It doesn't seem like it's a good fit for whatever reason. I just don't like the way this is fitting in here. What the hell? Also looks like a different resistor too. I made assumptions that it's a 1 kilo ohm. I mean, it says 1K on the board. I don't know what else it could be. I'm gonna have to sort of lie flat there. It's not the... This isn't like a 10K I put in as a mistake, but it says 1 kilo. Well, I mean, let's just roll it. Honestly, worst comes to worst, I just pull it out. Sure that goes through onto both sides here. It looks a little light on solder for my taste. Alright, let's see here. Okay. clipped. Get that clipped. All right. I mean, that's it, really. That was the tiny little bit of work I wanted to do on this board today, so I guess we'll go ahead and give it the old college try here. I'm honestly, like I said, I'm not expecting this to work. I think I've got a lot more work to do on this board before I see it actually work here. So we are hooking it up to my power supply. I got my power supply set to 9 volt and 2 amps. Okay, it's showing me the half amp power draw, so I haven't completely screwed things up. Okay. Now, my deal is I don't know. I think if the RGB or the composite's working, then it should give me something that says, I think like if nothing comes through, it tells me no signal. So I think that if I do get composite working, that it should not have that message. I don't really know, but we'll try with the game anyway. The games I have are relatively cheap, so for some reason one of them got destroyed. It's not gonna really hurt my wallet too much. Okay, got that going on there. I got this. We're on AV. Let's see what happens. See how it says no signal. Now if I come here. Holy shit. It worked. Well, it works. And I say that with big old air quotes. I mean, it looks, yeah, I mean, I've got to redo the... Yeah, there's some graphical glitches going on. But she works now. I am I am ecstatic. Sweet. That was a huge win. That's a huge win. So there's a whole lot of graphical glitches going on still. It did seem like there was some issues with the audio. Seemed a little scratchy. But I can't tell if that's because this freaking TV monitor thing is pretty garbo. So that could very well be it. Man, I'm kind of over the moon right now though, because I was honestly not expecting that to work, and it does. Well, I mean, god damn. Very cool. So, turn power off. So we still have a lot of work to do on this thing, and obviously the number one task that I've got ahead of me to start is getting the board clean. And once I get the board clean, then I can do the rest. But this was a huge, huge, huge win for me. Very, very, very cool. So I could set this aside for another week or so while I ponder how to clean it. If I should send it off to get it professionally cleaned or what. Man, it's in rough shape, but we got it running. We got it running. We got it running. Now, part of me wonders if that RGB encoder, this guy right here, is still good, but I ain't willing to try. Might hold on to it though. But how deep that corrosion got on it just seems like it's a lost cause to me. I'm not sure though. I am not sure, but wow, I'm kind of shocked. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So I guess maybe get on to the star of the main show. So those of you not too in tuned out there, this right here is a PC Engine LT, and essentially what this is the laptop version of PC Engine. So it's a self-contained PC Engine and monitor. Now, what's going on is I do get a power light if I do plug it in, but no game, no audio. And I have to be very, very particular about where I plug it in, because otherwise the power will not come on. See, I'm seeing some kind of worrying signs here. So like right here, there's rust, which does not make me feel too confident about things. And there's some crud in the extension port here, and definitely some crud on the edge of that PCB. Now, this thing is an extremely expensive console, as well as extremely rare. I mean, this is probably quite literally, not probably, the most expensive console I own, the most expensive broken console I've ever bought. I don't think I'd ever buy another one of these again unless I was really, really fortunate to have the money for it. But I got it for $1,000. And the reason I bought it was I hadn't seen one that cheap in forever. And I might be finding out why this was so cheap here. But we'll crack into it and dig it. We've been needing to do this for months now. And I won't lie, I am very, very nervous to work on this thing. Because of how rare and how expensive it is. It's in decent shape. It's a little yellowed. Aside from that, it looked okay. I don't think I need to. Trying to be very, very, very gentle. I might end up even watching another teardown video just in case I'm missing something here. Let's check all the screws are out. Now there was a little, the edge of the case here is a little pushed out, so someone might have been in here before me. Those screws definitely felt a little loose. Alright, being kind of a pansy with this because, like I said, no game, the power switch is off. Pretty sure it should just separate. At the top of the board. So weird. This is so weird. Why does this not want to separate for me? It does kind of seem like it should want to. Okay, well, something just popped for me, so I hope that was okay. Okay, so there are some ribbons here at the back that we do have to be mindful of. The power switch can pull that off. Okay, so to the rear of the console, you have the rear facing to be on the right hand side. Got a whole bunch of ribbon cables, so we're gonna maybe just do like this. Okay. I think these are not friction fit. So I might have to hate using metal and plastic parts, but I need to now the big issue with this console, it is very, very compact on the inside. And so it's a lot of work to get things going here. Now, let's see. I got that side up. I have the other side up. I do. Okay, so this cable should come out. Okay. So there's a small one in the middle here. It's hard for me to get this on camera. I'm sorry, guys, but so there's a one in the middle. Okay, that just popped right out. And one right here at the end. Okay, so we got all that. Now that should separate the top half for the most part. Now we do have a speaker here, which I think should just be plugged into the main board. Okay. Now, is this a little plastic clip? It is. And that separates the LCD from the control board, the logic board. So this is what the inside of that looks like. So these are the 3 ribbon cables that we removed. Obviously everything will only go one way. There's a couple of little daughter boards here, I guess they're control. Take the signal from the main board. I'm guessing this is what takes the signal from the main board and puts it onto the LCD. Maybe. Don't know. I'm sure one of these is, actually no, this is probably for the controls. One's probably for the backlight, and the other is probably for the LCD. I'd have to really look it up, but Let's go ahead and focus on getting the rest. Now, oh, that is right. There is a couple of, you got to be real mindful. On the back, there's also a very small plastic switch, which is kind of useless these days because we don't have the TV tuning ability anymore. But okay, well, I am seeing some signs of corrosion for sure from spilt caps, but from what I can tell, just very, very light visual inspection, we seem to be pretty good. So let's clear this out of the way. Okay. All right. Okay. So now, when it comes to this plastic, I think it's these 4 screws right here. Ooh, looking at this, it is, oh, I can't tell if that's factory flux or not. Honestly, just have to get it under the microscope and look. But I'm not seeing anything really jump out at me as, oh my god, this is not going to be fixable. I think we're going to get lucky here, guys. I mean, it's still a lot of work because I have to pull out. Oh, that is pretty gross right there, but I can't tell if that's flux or fluid. I mean, I could definitely see the caps have leaked because the pads are tarnished, so. Okay, so I think, though, does this focus it better? It doesn't. Man, I gotta invest in a better lens for my overhead camera. Okay, and those 4 screws definitely let me pull it off. I'm just doing a quick visual inspection of the rear of the board. I mean, yeah, you see the usual suspects of potentially leaky capacitors. This is the power section. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of corrosion in this area. I'm not sure what those blue mark things are, but I think if I just clean and put some fresh solder on, I should be okay. But let's get her under the microscope real quick, and we'll take a look at what we're dealing with. It seems to be, well, I don't know, is that flux or is that crud? I got some brownish liquid stuff, and it could be either flux or electrolytic fluid or both. I'll clean my fingers off real quick, and we'll clean this off real quick. Obviously, we'll definitely be giving this a nice once over. I'm both extremely excited and extremely nervous to work on this thing. Now, I do have a recap kit for it. We have a lot of work ahead of us. And I might end up firing up my desoldering pump to try it out, even though it scares me. I do want to take a look at a couple things under the microscope first. Give it a better visual inspection under the microscope, and yeah, we'll go from there. So let's pull the microscope out. Let's take a look at this power section first. Get some autofocus going. So, oh my lord, yeah, we've got a lot of corrosion in this area. It's a lot worse than I initially thought. So I don't know if those are resistors or if those are, what are those things? Okay, well. See, I'm just a little concerned here. What this all means. Now, thankfully, oof. So this got leaked on pretty heavily. But if that's the worst section of the board, I think we're going to be doing all right for ourselves. Because this is all looking pretty good. Here, let's just do it this way. Okay, so this is just factory flux. That's the headphone port right here. Okay. Looking okay. I mean, nothing really jumping out at me. I think that's a fuse. No? Crystal? It's a crystal? That's, yeah, I guess that's a crystal 4.50. I don't think I've ever seen one that looked like that before. Okay, let's see here. Oh, that area could use a clean. It's looking a little suspect, but not too bad. 470 ohm. Yeah, that's fine. Most of this looks like factory flux. Alright. I'm not sure what that is. Right here. Just dirt. It looks like it's a little bit of corrosion. Otherwise, okay. I'm going to move the board instead of the mic now. So this is the other power input right here. There's two ways to power this board, but I guess they all lead to the same section. Now this right here is where I'm going to have to desolder the connector. That is it. That one is. It is actually this row right here that we need to work on. A little less daunting, but still a lot. Something I really don't want to screw up on. So we could see a little bit of. I don't know. It could just be fine. This section right here is looking pretty bad. I think it's still going to be savable though. Stuff like this has me really worried. It looks like it took off. Well, that could just be solder. The end caps look still okay. I think we're going to be okay. I think it's just crud. And as long as I can clean it. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the other side of the board. It's going to be a little bit harder because everything, like I said, is so compact. But so let's zoom in some here. So this is what I was worried about before, but I think that's just looks like factory flux. I'm gonna try. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna pull this part, this guy off, which is the cartridge reader, the game reader. So I'll be able to get a toothbrush in there a lot easier. Okay, so there we can see a transistor right there is pretty corroded. Lots of capacitor leakage up here. So this whole area is going to need to be really cleaned and reworked. Again, I think we'll still be okay. Okay, so these don't show short to each other. Okay, so I mean that's looking okay. I won't say it's looking okay, but it is looking restorable. How about that? That's probably a better. Huh? No idea what that is. Is it a transformer? This guy? Or is it a crystal? That's just saying there's your there's your fuse right here, which I think is good because I was able to see an LED on this. Yeah, it's still good. Okay. So let's keep going. Now we're going to go down to the audio section down here. Actually, these caps don't look too bad. So we got away with one. Now we're going to have to remove this shield, obviously, and that'll let me snip them. Okay, I'll have to remove the shield anyway, but again, pretty corroded. Well, lots of cap leakage, so I think this is that the power? No, that's not the power switch. This is the, well, is this the headphone jack? No. Yeah? Maybe this is the audio section then. I'm not sure. But again, I mean, it's not, it's got signs of, definitely got signs of, capacitor leakage, but okay, now we're going to go up to here. So this is the other power jack right here. I'm guessing one of these caps, probably CC103 is my guess, is what leaked through to the other side. But honestly, not too shabby. So let's go ahead and get the metal shield off. Okay, so we're gonna refocus the microscope real quick. And the shield is basically gonna be all along the edge of the board, I think, on this one. So it should be fairly easy to get off. And we'll just do our normal. Oh, don't you? Damn it. Yeah. Okay. Might need to still do a little bit more work here. Thankfully, the shielding is just all ground, so it should. Yeah, see that pad is a little F now. On the right. Oh, I guess we got to be careful here. I didn't notice this. Usually on the GT and the GT, the shield pads really aren't connected to anything. But you can see that this goes to that via. So, well, as long as I got the left-hand pathway, I'll be all right. This came off a little bit, but we can see that we got that one taken care of pretty well there. So we'll just keep moving. I've had pretty good luck with just using braid on the GTs, and it seems like the LTs is kind of the same. Now, I'm pretty sure it should be, like, I think even though they're old, I think they're still using unleaded solder, but it's very, very agreeable solder. Now this one's a little weird just because that resistor is right there, but I think if I can just... I'm not sure if that got it or not. A little bit of a dead fish smell there. That's still soldered in there pretty good. So I think we're going to have to come to the front of this maybe. Just about like right there. Might end up having to use my solder sucker on this one. I gotta be careful not to wipe any passes off the board. Oh shit, did I just lift that pad completely? I literally can't tell now. It looks like I did though. Thankfully it doesn't seem to be connected to anything, but that kind of sucks. Or no, is it just... Ooh, okay. Thank God. I was like, well... So I think the next one is going to be right there. So we've got to be pretty careful in this area, and I might end up switching my braid, but I think for now we'll be okay. Let's do this so I can just keep track of the couple of resistors. You got to be careful, because if you heat the braid up too much and it lies across some passives, it will desolder the passives, and then you're going to have to spend your days wondering what the hell the value of that passive was. Definitely need some more work on this one. Definitely. Now, I think I can get this one. Yeah, you know, that's too tight of a space for me, so we're gonna switch over to something a little bit thinner. Now that we got most of the solder out of the way, this should be fine. Okay, might still kind of be connected on the other side. Let's just give it a little nudge here. Yeah, oh, see, that's what I don't want to do. But definitely still connected on the other side, so see about maybe flip it like this, maybe? Okay. And then I can maybe just kind of heat up and then nudge the pin out the way a little bit. Just like that. And that should hopefully... Ouch. Okay, so you can see how easily that's wiggling now. Alright, so that side, and then where is it on this side? This in the middle, maybe? Might be. Looks like it. Okay, I think I see my last two potential. Nope, that's not it. So I think it's just this last guy in the middle, maybe. So this guy, right here. Huh, is it though? I think so. So I guess this is just a ground? There's so many vias that connect to it, and then it doesn't make any sense why that capacitors... I don't know how much work I'm actually going to get done on this today, but we're going to try to at least clean it. We're getting the shield off. I don't know if I have it in me to do the cue card slot, although I might try it. So we've got but is that, like, for instance, alright, I guess it is just a ground. Okay, works for me. So let's just do what we've been doing. Okay. Still a little bit there, so we're going to get the thinner braid now. Did feel the shield wanting to drop, so let's just get you in there real quick. Perfect. I think that should mean that the shield's going to just fall off for me, just like that. There we go. Shield is removed. Now we can take a look at the internal guts here. So this is where all the CPU and stuff lie. Okay. This is kind of like the last unexplored area. We could see some fluid leaking. But thankfully, everything in here. Now this handles the controllers. I think this is graphics. Another graphics processor. Not sure what that is. Maybe something to do with the TV? Because this is the CPU, or what would be similar to the CPU. So what is that? What the hell is that? Hair, maybe? Might just be a hair. I don't know. But you can see that we've had some slight fluid leakage onto the legs. And then you can see all these caps are definitely dead. Had some normal dust because this is the front of the console, so it's pretty exposed. However, I'm not really seeing anything out of the ordinary here. And aside from the very, very big problem section on the back of the board, I think we're going to be okay. Pretty neat. Okay. So let's go ahead and I do believe I actually am the first person to be on the inside of this now. Oh man, I'm just getting goo all over me. Check on that. Yeah, the pad's still there. Man, that brown gunk really made it look like I had lifted those pads. It was pretty charred. Okay. We'll give this a really solid clean later. I gotta get a good sight picture of this area. because if something goes wrong, I want to have a good picture. Okay. I think that should cover my bases here. And now I'm going to and at least I'll have it on stream as well. All right, well, let's get this cleaned up because this is really bad. And we'll see what the damage is. I'm kind of nervous. I'm guessing the blue things are resistors? I don't know what those are. Just keep scrubbing, just keep scrubbing. So that's one I'm going over right now. This guy right here is the one I'm most worried about. I did get most of this going though. Now, let's go ahead and maybe zoom in on this guy right here. See if we can get a little bit better focus. Pretty junked up. 3902. That would say that was a resistor, then that would be $39K. If that was a capacitor, it would be 39 picofarads, I think. I think that is that a 2? So that's, 102 and 8, like that just, I don't know what those things are. I'm gonna have to ask, because I'm thinking I'm gonna have to replace them. At the very least, I'm gonna have to pull them. Thankfully, everything else in this area is kind of hunky-dory. It's just these two little buggers that are kind of a pain in my butt right now, huh? Vi is a bit rusted out. Thankfully, that's not too huge a deal, because if there's back of that's intact, we should be fine. But let's see if we've even got a connection still. really tough to do. But and to be fair, it does seem like the passes are still okay. It's just highly corroded. Okay. Same thing. I mean, it's just kind of everything in this area is just gonna need. Gonna have to keep hitting it with brush. I think. I wish I had a. Where's? I lost my stiff. Oh, there it is. Okay, thank God. Okay, so let's just try the stiffer brush real quick. This area, and then see what this can get up. Acid brush I have cut down to the nub. Problem with it is, see, it does leave these fibers here and there, but since they're plastic, they're non-conductive, they just are annoying. But it's nice and stiff, so it kind of loosens things a lot easier than my toothbrush does. Not as bad as I thought. Okay. Not as bad as I thought. There's still a bunch of corrosion, but we can see this is starting to loosen up for us. Could probably even get in here with like a brass brush. You can see how that's just, the stiffer brush is really just kind of taking this all the way, and then we'll take a soft brush again with just a lot of alcohol and brush towards the edge of the board, trying to maybe float the crap off as best we can. This is exactly where an ultrasonic cleaner would come really in handy. Just because it would take care of all this for me, but nothing you can't do by hand. It's just a lot more work. Lots of cleaning. But I think it's cleaned up quite nicely, I gotta say. I'm just, the more I work on this, the more optimistic I am about seeing it fire up eventually. I'm definitely going to have to come in here with some fresh solder, though. some of these things, but like now they're looking nice and shiny again. Got a lot of that brown crap off. There's still some around. And that's the worst. That took the worst of it, it feels like. But all in all, really not that bad. Yeah, it does seem like some of the traces may have gotten eaten away, maybe? I'm thinking, is it? Let's see here real quick. Let's just try this. Should be to here, right? Okay. Does that connect to this? It does. Alright, so it just might just be raw copper I'm seeing. You gotta be careful with those vias. I think as long as the core is fine. So this is it's just an issue you're gonna have. The real fine stuff is gonna feel the brunt of the corrosion the most. But we definitely still have continuity, so that's a good thing. I'm gonna definitely find out tonight what exactly these blue things are. As far as I can tell, though, they're still good. Just kind of drying the board because sometimes the alcohol gives you a little bit of a false positive. But I mean, yeah, I mean it's definitely going to get some. Most of these are just going to get at least tap with the soldering iron, just to add a little bit of some fresh solder in there if I can. I might still pull those two and then just wick the pads and really rework those. But honestly, for the most part, we're looking okay. Definitely looking okay. Oh, heart's beating a little slower now. I was really nervous about this repair, with good reason, just due to the expense of it, but you know, that's just, it is what it is sometimes. Part of me wants to like put a little bit of power through it and see if that improved, because I bought new power jacks thinking maybe the issue was the power jack. But I'm not too convinced on it. But they're there if I need them. You know, cheap enough, right? That's the 9 volt. 9 volt, okay. So I've got an official power adapter. see if I can maybe just give myself a little one extra loop worth of, there we go, space. The zip tie is fighting me. It's quite nice. It did come with a OEM charger. Yeah, we have a green light. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is there's just a Hail Mary test here. So I've got this guy. Unfortunately, because it's a Japanese system and only plays Japanese games, I'm pretty sure the headphones on the right or the left. Do a little acid test here. So before I was barely getting power, now I'm getting power consistently. And we'll plug in a set of headphones to the front here. This is the TV jack, I think. And not getting anything. Well, that's not too unsurprising. Obviously these capacitors are pretty toast, so I'm not too unsurprised. Let's just do this real quick, just in case. Sometimes it. Okay. Yeah, that's not working. Cat, you're not sitting in my chair. I know you feel like you should be, but you're not. Headphones got all knotted up here. I'm just trying to untangle them before I put them away. Okay. Okay. trying to see what's what. Volume is on the left and volume to the right is, so this is all the way up. Okay. Come on, come on. Now, if I'm not getting volume through the headphones, I highly doubt I'm going to get it through the speaker. Lucky for me, I actually do have a kind of spare external. Oh, sorry, bumping. Okay, so where did this plug into? Oh, it's right there. I do believe it goes like this. Which way? Or maybe I can't do this. Maybe the... Oh, that scared the crap out of me. I don't know. Is it the same? Does it go like this? Okay, that fits. We'll try one more time here. Nothing. Now, actually, so we still do have an intermittent connection. Now, what about powering it from the other side? I don't know what that sound is, but it doesn't really make me happy. Does it make it without the power on? Oof. Yeah. Not too sure, but I think we still have some work to do, boys. But that's okay. That's okay. I was expecting that. So now we are tasked with well, it could be the power adapter or it could be the plugs that are causing that. I don't know what's making that, causing that thing to go tink, but I don't like weird sounds like that. Nothing back here seemed to get overly hot. Well, we did get more consistent power. Okay, well, I mean, really, only one thing left to do. I'll just start working on the, let's zoom this. Okay. And, I don't know, maybe we'll just try to see how we can get along with our solder pump, and if I need to pull out the heavy and try it, I will, but to be quite honest with how it's been performing for me lately, I'm not too enamored with it. See that? was the same. I'll try one more time here. We might actually need to do see. Now if I mix a little bit of leaded in with that, what's it going to look like? Okay. And then could also try out the braid. Now you can see how that's just not getting everything. It's tough work. I mean, we could try one more time. Just do a fill in. Try again. Try not to do too much. Work on the same pad. I don't want to overstress it. It's just not. That sort of got it there. Sort of. You can see just a little tiny bit. This is going to take me freaking forever, isn't it? I might end up now that's clean. So we might just end up see, that's what I don't. This is what I want to avoid, though. So like this right here is solder. Solder on the board. I don't know if that's somewhere right there. That's free. That's what took me to seeing. But see, and I like lift the solder mask, put this. It's definitely not attached to anything, but I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't. It's not coming up easy. So let's just go and let's just try and see if maybe some flux on some of these is going to be enough. I might have too much braid here, but okay with that. I want to try to so for the most part, It's working okay. Well, I don't know what that is, but clean that up quick. All right, that seems to be working okay. So let's go ahead and just keep on keeping on. The less stress I have to put on this board, the better. Now I'm using an 8 metric buttload of flux too, but bigger the glob, the better the job. Okay, so okay, got a little frayed there. Let's try this again. Using tweezers to hold the braid because it's just getting too hot. It seems to work a little bit better when I've got extended heat on it. Again, we're not scrubbing, but kind of trying to just nudge those pins a little bit. Okay. Maybe clip and add some more flux. Actually, oh no, don't tell me no, that should be still good, but not a huge deal if I guess if I broke a trace or two, but let's try to avoid that, shall we? Okay, so there's this guy in the far left that still needs a little bit of love. Let's start with him first. Should be this guy right here. Damn it. Maybe that's... Okay, got you. Look how that's kind of fraying, but sometimes it is what it is. Keep an eye on things. I think we're right here. Okay, let's go ahead and, you know, really kind of wasting a lot of the braid here, but working, it's working. Keep nudging the board over too. And there's the first real good whiff of dead fish. Now, I have to say that went a lot smoother than expecting it to, for the most part. So that's still soldered. That's good. That's still soldered. That's still soldered. Still soldered. That's good, good. Soldered, soldered. So that's the kind of rub with using the braid, is that you leave these little tiny micro joints. So like if I come in now, just tap. Let me come back to this guy. Are you still? I still see it on the left. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can see the tiny little bit of solder right there. But maybe if I take the smaller braid now and use that to kind of just soak up the last of it. Still seems to be soldered, eh? This is what I was really dreading. You can't. It's like you almost want to. You almost need like a third hand just to. Got that. See, like that's still kind of. It should move very easy. See, like how this moves with no pressure. But most of this I can still see is still soldered. I feel like I'm not going to even be able to. So like this guy in the middle, he's soldered right there. It's almost like if I could just this guy, let's grab, maybe just keep it. You could see like how it's just holding on to that little tiny bit right on the edge there. minor, tiny solder bridges that just refuse to come up. Nope, I can still see it. It doesn't want to like either drip down the pin. It feels better, but still feel like it's. Why are these sticking together now? Is it the flux? Just feels like there's a whole bunch of solder in there that just refuses to come up. That's better now. No, this guy's still same thing. Just a labor of love, I guess. And this is exactly where the soldering gun would come in handy, but mine sucks, and I honestly 100% do not trust it on this device. I would rather spend 4 hours doing this and do it safely with minimal wear on the components, on the PCB, than risk having to do a whole bunch of trace repair. Problem is I can't tell. Alright, so that end one we know is bad, but good, 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 stuck, good, good, stuck, good, a little stuck, a little stuck. See, all those are probably just going to be pretty easy. So it's, I think this is the first stuck one, right? Yeah, this one's good. Okay, so we have you now. Still no. Just a little tiny bit in there somewhere, huh? Maybe a little braid. Try a little braid. Same thing, just maybe. Maybe, just maybe. I think I could see it there to the side, actually. Just barely hanging on. Maybe if I heat it from this side instead, push it away. I think that did it. Okay, that's a good technique to remember. Yep, see now it's good. That's good. That feels good. That needs a little bit of love. This top guy, this guy right here. I can see it. Yeah, it's gotta be. Just these tiny, tiny, tiny little bits of solder that refuse to. This guy, right? If we could just break it and suck it, then. Yep. So that's good, right? So we're gonna start with the one right above that 30. Same thing, I just refuse to. Nope, that didn't do it. One more time now. Okay. That seemed to have done it. Okay, so we got that top guy going now, right? Same thing, the one right above the 30. Okay, I think that did it. Looks good to me. Now what about you guys? Free, free, free. Excellent. So now we got to repeat the whole process. And then we clean. And then we might call it a day. And just leave this for another week. This thing is a literal lake of flux at this point, but I am okay with that because it will all clean off. So let's just start fresh here and just go ahead and try to get off as much as we can, and then we're just going to do the same thing we did before. It's a little bit more cramped on this side just because of the other row of pins. Yep, more electrolytic fluid. Still there. Just gonna keep on trimming as we go along. I'm sure I could get more mileage out of the braid than I do, but to be quite honest, I don't really care all that much. Let's see here. Solder braid's pretty cheap, so I'd rather have an easier job than save 2 cents worth of copper. Add some more flux to these final pins, and then we're gonna just go back over everything with the solder sucker, and hopefully we'll have a hue card slot free of the PCB. And again, we're going to just trash this used up braid, get some freshy fresh. Gotta watch those passes at the end there. They're gonna be a pain in my butt, aren't they? Pretty cool down for just a second so my fingers can rest. Okay, we got that, and then just go ahead, and I'm sure that most of these are going to be, if not all of them, because I can definitely still see. Yeah, they all. We'll just do all of them. Just keep going through bit by bit. That is a problem. Fortunately, I did not think of that. Watch I don't resolder those rear pins, which is a very big possibility. If I'm not too careful. should have, this guy's free, still soldered. Okay. So third one up. I have to do this vertical to avoid the pins in the back. Oh, nope, I just resoldered that whole thing. Might have to come in with some braid now. Might be melting the silicone tip on this thing a little bit too. Gotta be real careful. I might have to come back in with some braid on this one, to be quite honest. See, all that's like literal solder. Tiny bits of solder on the end of that. Which is probably how that just happened. Let's get in there with some braid. Do the thinner stuff. I think I resoldered the pin below it too. Which freaking sucks, but let's see what we can do here. Nope. I saw it. Literally watched it weld. It's just this back corner back here, right there. That thankfully is still free. Can't figure out how I'm gonna get this. Do I do it this way instead? Maybe that's how I do it. Yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna do it. So now, if I come in from this side, I don't really have to nope. See, it's just son of a bitch, man. Okay. Okay, this is fighting me. Now this is exactly what I was afraid of. Now, let's go ahead. See if we can't get this to free up. Okay, got that. Now, I still think it's soldered to the back. I might be able to do my trick of grab it with this, heat up, and see about maybe just keeping it away from the sides and the back. I can literally see the okay, that got it.
Hey.
I wonder, maybe we'll just try this now. Okay. So I think I got this one free. This one looks like it has a lot of solder left in there. I might have to end up actually having to hit this one up again. Oh yeah. That still has a ton of solder in there, huh? So let's try to get this one with the solder sucker. see all of the leftover solder. It's still soldered, but doing better now. This trick might work. Okay, still too much in there, so let's see about maybe getting a little braid in between the two of them. Might be able to get to that back there. Same thing, just that tendril in the back is just refusing to. Yeah, literally just can't get the last. I could see it. I can literally freaking see it. It just won't come up. I might end up just doing a flood and drain. But that's going to cause something to rip. I know it. Maybe, just maybe, I can. What if I did it the way that I wanted to do it now? Which one wasn't? I think it's this one right here. Push this to the other side. Yeah, see, now it just went to the back. That might have got it, though. That might have got it. Nope. Maybe? No, that's good. Okay. That's kind of right. We were doing the whole, just kind of move it. So let's see if this will continue to work. It's just hilarious, like I can see it. I can literally just see it. And it refuses to suck up for me here, huh? And same thing. Literal same thing. It just does not want to give up that last little ghost. I don't know. pain in the butt. Just does not want to give up that last tiny little bit in the back there. Just kind of keeps rolling side to side. So we're going to try again with some more flux here. Maybe I can just kind of get that last little tiny bit to come on up. There we go. No, I think it went to the left now. Like, it just keeps kind of shifting on me. It feels like it's still... I know that for a fact that all these are just 100% just soldered. Close, but same thing, just not. Everything in the middle. And then we'll see about maybe just running some braid down the middle of all of these. Seeing if maybe that'll suck up that last tiny little bit that it's holding on to. The tweezers keep sticking together. Okay, let's grab this fur ball off. Okay, so obviously we're going to have some issues here. Okay, well, that's not working out too well. Try this angle, get that fuzzball off. Might end up having to clean real hard and then come back at this so I could see better, but that definitely did not work. Oh, that first side actually went so good, and then now this side is just screw you, buddy. You know? Screw you. Oh, I don't want to do that, so let's just... Literally, the same thing. Where's my thicker braid? Sometimes this felt like it was working better, but the problem with this stuff is that I can't really. Like it feels like that worked, but I still feel like it's flinging back and just welding itself to the. Oh, fuck. Well, that worked. It is what it's doing, but I guess we'll just keep trying. And I'm gonna give it a clean after this go, so I can actually see what the F I'm doing and decide, make a decision on how to approach it. Oh, let's get this like this. You can see where all these are attached. I just need to get that last tiny little bit. The other issue is this stuff gets so hot I can't hold my hand on it as long as I need to. Now this guy, same deal. I just gotta get it in there. Okay, maybe that's working. Still feel like it's like just saw a little bit of solder on that one. It does feel like it's working better though. Okay, let's keep on going. I think this is the last one, honestly. Okay, that one right next to it might need to go too. Well, obviously we're gonna go through and test. So we know that end one's good. That still needs a little work. That's good. That feels good. That needs work. That's good. That's good. That might be okay. That needs work. That feels like it needs work. That feels like it needs work. All these I can still see some solder in, yeah. So like these, we're just gonna sauce these guys up again. Same thing, just chop off the fray a little bit. Kind of helps somewhat. Essentially. It definitely does seem like it's getting most of it now. Still see tiny, tiny little tendrils, but I think as long as I kind of like wiggle the pin and then the braid, we are getting most of it. This guy right here. Let's get some more flux on this guy. That way I know exactly which one to hit. He needs a little bit of love. This is a very labor-intensive process, but again, if you have a proper desoldering pump, it's probably not a big deal. Mine just sucks. as mentioned. Sucks too much for me to trust it on something so valuable. No, it's still attached. Is it this guy right here? Yeah. Alright, try one more time here. We're getting there. We're getting there. Just need to get, just gotta get. That might have done it. I'm trying my best to glide, but I am doing a little scrubbing up here, so it sounds like. I want to avoid that, but also I want to feel like could just use just a little bit more love, just a tiny bit, but I think that might have got it. Still feels like he's attached, but not attached. This guy right there. Just double check it is. Yes. That might have gotten it. Yep. That last one I'm still not too convinced of. Good. Some of these are still feeling a little attached, but okay, so this guy right here. I can see the solder. I mean, I literally can see it. I should probably just end up cleaning this, huh? Another thing I could do is I could try just blasting it with some hot air. Pain in the butt. Literal pain in the ass. Same thing. It still feels like it's holding on to something. Gotta bring the mic out a little bit here so I can maybe kind of see which pins are still. I guess I could just use some hot air. kind of a last resort, but I mean, what else am I gonna do, I guess? Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe this will work though. Of course you're gonna EO8. I'm EO2. What the fuck is... This is so awkward. Alright. Now you all really can't see anything, but we're almost there. And with maximum effort, well, I have one pin that kind of got a little screwed up, but not bad, not bad. I'll show that in a second. Got a little bent, but very easy to fix. Ow, fuck. Shit got hot. So while this board is still piping hot, let's go ahead and see this, clean this literal lake of flux up. Oh, well, you can't even see anything I'm doing, huh? It's actually pretty clean, I gotta say, pretty clean. You know, like, so much flux everywhere now, but we're going to be giving this board a really good. I might even let this one soak in some alcohol. Let's go ahead and just soak up as much of this flux on the cotton bud as I can here. Just keep rinsing. Rinsing, rinsing, rinsing. Oh shit. Well, you know, we can see that. Look at that. One maybe slightly damaged pad, but not bad. All this looks pretty good. And I'll take a look at the other side here in a second, because I'm sure a bunch of flux leaked through on that side as well. Yep. We knew we were going to have to clean this side anyhow. That pad might need to get restored, which would suck, but we'll test it here in a second. That might just be crappy flux all over everything. Oh, look at that. Here, we'll do this. I guess we were not really showing you much. Part of me almost wants to take... Well, I guess we're going to be pulling that cap off, so that'll give me a little bit more in that cap there too at the end, which you guys can't really see, but you can see how that is just literal cap goo. Okay, that pad's fine. It was just either oxidation or flux. I'll just go ahead and just quick little wipe. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to get in to that section once they get all the caps pulled and clean real good. And then same thing in here, as clean as best as I can. I'm sure most of that's just kind of flux that just crept through from the last little bit of vigorous desoldering that I did. So if I get my toothbrush in here a little bit. Should be able to just clean most of that out. Otherwise, I gotta say, so right now, you can see how that one pin right there at the end is just looking a little longer than the others, and that's just because I gotta pull it back up with the rest of them. Now the good thing about these Hue card readers is that there are actually modern replacements, and I actually do have some spares, or a 100% a spare, but I could always pull it off I bought a working but cheap, because it's cosmetically damaged, PC Engine to harvest for parts in case I needed it. This I don't know if any cap crud got onto these things, but I'm gonna just do my best to should be good enough. We can see how everything is pretty much just uniform except for that little one guy right there at the end. And you know what? Out of the 40 pins or so that I had to desolder, if I kind of mangled one, I'll take it. It's really not that hard to fix. So basically, so we can see how, I don't know if I can, alright, so you could just see how this pin is just kind of below the others, and you just got to pull it up. That's it. That's all you got to do. Bam. She's fixed. Might have one or two that are slightly kind of out of position, but that, in the end, it don't really matter. It doesn't really matter, because as long as you can get the pin down to the pad and get solder around it, it will read just fine. Take a quick look on the inside. It looks okay. Yeah, fine, just fine. Perfect. Okay, so after all that, hard effort and work, this is the end result right here. Looks pretty slick, so I guess we'll save this for next week, but we're going to replace all the caps. I'm going to replace the power jacks, just because. And obviously, clean. And that should hopefully be it for this. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Usually, these things are supposed to be pretty rock solid in terms of the chips functioning and whatnot, but you never really know. So we'll give her a clean. We'll replace all the caps. We'll replace the power jacks, and then if I feel like I need to, I don't know. Actually, I'm just going through my head. I think that's all we really need to do. Clean out the extension port. Clean off all the goo. Now, I might figure out what the hell these blue surface mounts are. Get some new ones of them ordered up. But given the fact that we are getting power to the LED, I'm thinking it should be okay. We'll find out. I'm sure. I think that's actually probably the 5 volt. Is that the 5 volt reg, or is that on this side? I think that is the 5 volt regulator. I could test and see real quick, but do I want to do that? I mean, I guess I could, because yeah, curiosity's getting better of me here. We do kind of also have to figure out what that clicking sound was. I just think it's the LED. It's got to be these. Or no, is it? It's clicking on that side, but not on this side, right? just stay lit long enough for me to measure this? God damn it. Of course not. Right, so know that this right here, and then should mean yeah, I'm not getting anything from that. How about here? No? This is the annoying part of having the intermittent power. So that's either not that's got 16 volts coming out of it. Guessing that's not meant to be a 5-volt regulator, if I even have a 5-volt regulator out of this board. That's 16 out of that. Nothing out of that. Nothing out of that. Okay, well, let's see here real quick. No, it's not. Huh, I might have an issue still. That could be dead. Could not be dead, but we'll have to recap. We'll have to recap and measure again, because maybe it's just a blown capacitor that's causing some issues here or something. I'm not too sure. Okay, well, I was just taking a look at the board again and just, I don't know. I mean, I think that's about as far as I'm going to go with it today, because it's 2:45 and I've got, unfortunately, I do have a bunch of chores and stuff I need to take care of today that I actually skipped out on last weekend that were supposed to be done last weekend, but, you know, sometimes you just don't get the things. Well, it was a very productive stream today. Very, very, very productive. We managed to get the Neo Geo actually working. Not fully working, but working to the point that at least I've got audio and video on the screen. And that's a huge start for me. So we're going to do some more research on the most proper and safest way to clean the PCB, and then reevaluate what else needs to be done on it. My guess is there's a lot of work left on that one. I'm also keeping my eye on an auction for another one. So we'll see what goes on with that. But even if I do get that, that's auction's not ending until next Sunday anyway, so it won't be here for another 2 weeks at the earliest. It's coming from the same guy. I am kind of going back and forth in my head whether it's going to be something in the same condition. The PCB looked cleaner from what he showed of it in this listing than this one did, but you never know. I mean, unless they give you unless they're willing to open it up, and I might actually end up sending him a message to see if he's willing to do that for me. But we made some very big progress on the LT. I sucked it up, and at least we got the motherboard out. We got the Hue card reader removed. Cleaned up the power area somewhat. We definitely do see power, which I was getting before, but it seems to be a little bit stronger now. Again, we're going to replace those power jacks to see if that's what's causing that intermittent issue. Very well could be. Could just need to be, reflowed, but I'm going to put modern power jacks on it because they're a little bit sturdier than the ones that come with that. So that's coming up next weekend. I'm really looking forward to it. Now that we've got the hard part out the way, the recap job is pretty. I won't say it's easy, but it's definitely a lot easier than what I did today. So today was the hard job, in my opinion, and we got over that hill. And then now next week, I just have to take my time and remove caps, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so I am going to call it a day. I have things I need to do. I'm sure y'all have things you need to do. For anybody who stopped by, anybody in the future watching, like, subscribes, follows are all appreciated. I do stream every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time to noon Central Standard Time is when I do like to start. However, sometimes I start a little later, has been the case past couple of weeks, but generally I try to stick to those start times. I do try to do mods on Saturdays and repairs on Sundays. However, my workload for repairs has been pretty high lately, so I've been doing repairs on both days. So if you've got some time, I hope to see you here next weekend, and other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day and that you have a great week. And like I said, hopefully I'll see you here next weekend where we finish up this LT and maybe quite possibly do some more Neo Geo work. Really depends on whether I'm not going to find the time to clean the board this week or not. That might be a 2-week process because I might not be able to get cleaning till next weekend. So we'll just take that one by ear and see how it comes, and hopefully I'll see you all here next weekend. So all right, guys, enjoy your day. I hope you're having a great daylight savings day and you got that extra hour of sleep, and have a great week. See you guys next weekend.